Step into the Titanic like never before, from the smoking room to the luxurious first-class suites. Some of the service prices, you won't believe them. First-class bedrooms. There were 840 cabins on board, 416 in first class, 162 in second class, and 262 in third. The transatlantic voyage carried around 2,200 people, with about 1,300 of them being passengers. Deluxe cabin sitting room. The most luxurious suites on the ship were the parlor suites. They had fireplaces and private sitting areas. Only 4 of them existed, and tickets cost the modern-day equivalent of $115,000. Second-class sleeping cabin. Second-class rooms were surprisingly impressive. They matched the first-class standards of other ships at the time. So how much did it cost to sleep here? Roughly $1,700 in today's money. The grand staircase. The most iconic interior feature of the ship, easily the grand staircase. It was the elegant centerpiece for first-class passengers, featuring carved oak paneling, a fancy clock, iron railings, and a glass dome above. The elevators. First-class guests had access to 3 electric elevators, just past the grand staircase. Second-class passengers had their own, a little less fancy, but still impressive. The smoking room. Beautiful stained glass windows made this space stand out. Some of the glass panels were actually found in the wreck more than 100 years later. Main dining room. There were 4 restaurants on the ship. The biggest was the first-class dining saloon, 10,000 square feet in size and seating up to 500 people at once. First-class dining. The food matched the elegance of the space. On the first night, guests were served a 10-course meal, featuring poached salmon with mousseline sauce, lamb with mint sauce, and chocolate and vanilla eclairs. Veranda Cafe. First-class passengers could also dine in the tropical-themed Veranda Cafe, complete with imported palm trees. Parisian Cafe. Another first-class option was the Parisian Cafe. Designed to look like a Paris sidewalk restaurant, it even had French waiters to match the vibe. First-class lounge. After dinner, gentlemen typically headed to the smoking lounge. There, they were offered drinks and fine cigars. Deck A entrance. The ship's most elite spaces, like the cabins, lounges, and restaurants, were all styled to match the homes of wealthy guests. The goal was to make them feel truly at home. Deck A, promenade deck. A couple enjoys a stroll along the upper promenade, known as Deck A. Even outdoor spaces were class separated. This area was reserved for first class only. Gymnasium. The gym had equipment most of us would recognize today: rowing machines, stationary bikes, and more. Swimming pool. Only first-class passengers could use the pool, which was around 30 feet long and 20 feet wide. The price to swim? About $7 per person. Reading and writing room. This room was filled with natural light, making it the perfect place to write a letter at sea. First-class view. To give the upper-class travelers the views they expected, over 2,000 portholes were built into the ship's hull. The wireless operator wireless communication on board was still a new thing at the time, cutting edge for the early 1900s. Captain Smith, Captain Edward Smith, Commodore of the White Star Line, had decades of experience. This was to be his final voyage before retirement. More than just a ship, Titanic was a floating world, built with dreams, lost to the sea, but never forgotten.